Staying warm shouldn't mean feeling stuffy, sweaty, or uncomfortable. Yet many people notice the same pattern every winter. They put on warmer clothes, feel cozy at first, and then suddenly feel overheated, followed by chills once they sit still. The problem usually isn't temperature. It's fabric. Some materials trap heat too aggressively, while others allow your body to regulate warmth naturally. Understanding this difference is the key to staying warm without overheating. Why overheating happens even in cold weather. Overheating doesn't only happen in warm rooms. It often starts in cold weather, especially when layers don't release heat properly. When your body generates heat through movement, circulation increases and warmth builds quickly. If fabric traps that heat without letting excess escape, your body responds by sweating. Even in winter, that moisture becomes the real problem. Once sweat builds up, fabrics that don't manage it will hold it close to the skin. When you stop moving or the temperature drops slightly, evaporation kicks in and heat is pulled away fast. This creates the familiar cycle of feeling too warm, then suddenly too cold. Certain fabrics are more likely to cause this effect. Dense synthetics, tightly woven materials, and heavy outer layers trap heat quickly but release it poorly. Indoors, where movement is limited, this imbalance becomes even more noticeable. Understanding overheating as a fabric issue, not a temperature issue, helps explain why simply wearing more often backfires. Wool, warmth that regulates itself. Wool is one of the few fabrics that can keep you warm without pushing your body into overheating. This happens because wool doesn't trap heat aggressively. Instead, its naturally crimped fibers create tiny air pockets that hold warmth while still allowing excess heat to escape gradually. This balance helps your body stay within a comfortable temperature range. Another key factor is moisture control. Wool absorbs moisture vapor into the fiber itself rather than letting it sit on the skin. This prevents the damp, sweaty feeling that often leads to overheating followed by chills. Even when there is slight moisture, wool continues to insulate, which helps maintain steady warmth over long periods. Wool also adapts well to changes in activity. It warms you when you're still, but doesn't overheat you when you move around. This makes it ideal for indoor wear, long sitting, and situations where your activity level changes throughout the day. For people who feel warm and cold in cycles, wool often solves the problem without adding bulk. Merino wool, soft warmth for everyday wear. Merino wool offers the temperature regulation of wool with a much softer feel. The fibers are thinner and more flexible, which allows the fabric to sit comfortably against the skin without irritation. This makes merino especially suitable for all-day wear, including base layers and indoor clothing. What sets merino apart is how smoothly it manages heat. Instead of warming you quickly and then overheating, merino adjusts gradually. It releases excess warmth as your body temperature rises and retains heat when you cool down. This makes temperature shifts feel less noticeable and more natural. Merino also excels in moisture balance. It absorbs and releases moisture slowly, helping prevent sudden temperature drops. Indoors, where small changes in movement can cause discomfort, merino keeps warmth stable without making you feel stuffy or overheated. Fleece, warm fast, overheats faster. Fleece is designed to feel warm immediately. Its brushed, fluffy surface traps a large amount of air right away, which is why it feels cozy the moment you put it on. This instant warmth is comforting, especially when you first come in from the cold. But that same quality is also what makes fleece prone to overheating. Fleece doesn't regulate heat gradually. It traps warmth quickly, but releases it poorly. When your body temperature rises even slightly, from walking, cleaning, or moving around the house, heat builds up faster than it can escape. Your body responds by sweating, often without you noticing at first. Moisture management is another weak point. Fleece doesn't absorb moisture, it moves it across the surface. Indoors, where airflow is limited, that moisture can linger. Once fleece becomes even slightly damp, it loses insulation and creates a cycle of overheating followed by cooling. This is why fleece often feels great for short periods, but uncomfortable during long sitting or all-day indoor wear. Cotton, comfortable, but quietly cooling. Cotton feels soft, breathable, and familiar, which makes it a common choice for indoor clothing. But when it comes to warmth without overheating, cotton works against you. Cotton absorbs moisture quickly and holds onto it. Even small amounts of sweat stay trapped in the fabric, pulling heat away from the skin. Indoors, this effect is subtle but persistent. Cotton clothing may feel fine at first, but after some time it starts to feel cool, slightly damp, and uncomfortable. This is especially noticeable during long sitting, when body heat production drops and moisture evaporation increases heat loss. Cotton also lacks structure. Its fibers lie flat and don't trap much air, which means there's little insulation to begin with. This makes cotton a poor choice for staying warm, especially when worn close to the skin. While cotton is excellent for comfort in warm conditions, in cold weather it often causes both chilling and temperature instability, rather than preventing overheating. Synthetic blends, controlled warmth without trapping heat. Synthetic blends are designed to fix the extremes of both natural and fully synthetic fabrics. By combining fibers, these materials can provide insulation while still allowing heat and moisture to escape at a controlled rate. This makes blends especially useful for staying warm without overheating. Blends that include wool or merino with synthetic fibers tend to perform best. The natural fibers handle temperature regulation, while the synthetics improve durability, stretch, and moisture movement. This prevents the fabric from becoming heavy or clammy during long wear. Instead of trapping heat aggressively, blended fabrics distribute warmth more evenly. Another advantage is consistency. Pure fabrics often change behavior once they're compressed or slightly damp. Blends hold their structure better, which helps maintain insulating air pockets throughout the day. For indoor wear, travel, or long periods of sitting, synthetic blends often feel more stable and predictable than single-fiber fabrics. Knit fabrics versus dense fabrics. The way a fabric is constructed matters as much as what it's made from. Knit fabrics naturally create loops and spaces that trap air. This allows them to insulate gently while still flexing with movement. Because they rebound after pressure, knits maintain warmth even when you sit or lean for long periods. Dense or tightly woven fabrics behave differently. They block airflow well but don't trap much air inside the fabric itself. As a result, they can feel cool against the skin, and are more likely to cause overheating during movement, followed by cooling once you stop. Indoors, knit fabrics tend to regulate temperature better. They allow excess heat to escape gradually, while preserving enough insulation to stay warm. Dense fabrics often require additional layers underneath to feel comfortable, which increases the risk of overheating. Choosing knit construction is one of the simplest ways to keep warmth balanced and stable. Fabrics that work while sitting still. Staying warm without overheating becomes harder when you're sitting still. Movement generates heat, but sitting reduces circulation, especially in the legs, feet, and lower back. Fabrics that rely on activity to manage heat stop working properly, which is why you can feel chilled even in warm clothes. Materials that keep their structure under pressure perform best here. Wool, merino, and blended knits hold air pockets even when compressed by sitting. This helps maintain steady warmth without forcing your body to overheat first. These fabrics don't depend on constant movement to feel comfortable. By contrast, fabrics that flatten easily lose insulation. Once air pockets disappear, warmth drops quickly. This leads people to add more layers, which often causes overheating when they stand up again. Choosing resilient fabrics that insulate quietly, without relying on body heat spikes, is key for long indoor sitting, desk work, or evenings on the couch. Choosing fabrics for home, work, and sleep. Different indoor situations call for different fabric behavior. At home, comfort and stability matter most. Wool, merino, and soft blends keep warmth even and reduce the need for frequent layering changes. Knit sweaters, lounge pants, and socks made from these materials work well for long wear. For work or desk environments, breathability becomes more important. Fabrics that release excess heat gradually help avoid overheating during short movements and chills during rest. Merino blends are especially effective here because they adapt smoothly to small temperature changes. For sleep, lightweight warmth is best. Heavy or heat-trapping fabrics can cause overheating and disrupt rest. Thin merino or soft wool blends help maintain body temperature without trapping too much heat. Matching fabric behavior to how you use it makes warmth feel natural, not forced. How to combine fabrics to stay warm without overheating. Staying comfortable in winter isn't about finding one perfect fabric. It's about how different fabrics work together. Each layer should have a clear role. One manages moisture, another traps air, and another controls how quickly heat escapes. When these roles overlap or conflict, overheating and chills appear. A practical combination starts with a breathable base that keeps skin dry, followed by a regulating layer like wool, or a wool blend that holds warmth steadily. If needed, a light outer layer can slow heat loss without sealing everything in. The key is avoiding fabrics that all trap heat aggressively at the same time. Indoors, flexibility matters more than maximum insulation. Layers should be easy to add or remove and made from materials that adjust smoothly to changes in activity. When fabrics complement each other instead of competing, warmth feels consistent, natural, and comfortable, without the cycle of sweating and cooling.